All right. we are going to we did a little torture test on this new and hopefully improved Ozark Mountain BugOut Killer. And we're going to tear it apart and see what happened. Stick around. But we did a little torture test today, and we're going to tear it apart and see what it did to the inside and all the guts. So, excuse my voice. I don't know what I got. It ain't good. Been to the doctor, and he gave me all kind of medicines. What I did was, being cooped up at the house, I flicked this thing open 3,000 times. So it's 3,000 plus. So this thing has been flicked open 3,000 plus times. Mainly with the right hand because I'm useless with my left, but I have gotten to the point that I can open this thing. People spend a lot more money than this on fidget toys, but for 10 bucks, you got a fidget toy with a real blade. You never have to touch the blade unless you want to. Now just, open it 15, 20 times, no big deal, but I was opening it in the beginning, a couple hundred, 200 or 300 at a time, and then I had to stop after about 750 times. I started doing it 100 at a time, and when I got to 1,000, I had to start using my left hand every now and then to give my right hand a break, because it does kind of hurt after a while. And I realized that 3,000 really is not a big number. It's a big number for my fingers. But I understand that that's not really a big number in stuff like this right here. I get it. It's for the lifetime of a knife, you're going to use a lot more than that. But let me get a towel and try to clean this stuff. Well, what was that? Oh yeah. See, that's the little tiny detent pin, which I really wanted to see it because I was afraid that little tiny thing was going to break. That, and see, and I didn't want to open this thing a whole bunch when I first got it because I looked at that little pin, that little stop pin, and I was like, man, that's going to break. And I could see these, and I said, for 10 bucks, them things right there ain't going to last 100 openings. And so I was afraid the springs was going to break. And I was like, you know what? I bought 2 of them. Let's let people know so they ain't worried like me. So we're going to let's do a zoom in on this, and I'm going to slowly turn it. And you can see a little bit of discoloration right there. So that's the main point where it's been hitting for 3,000 plus times. And we're going around, and there's nothing. Okay, so the cross lock, you can see there's most likely where it's been locking up on the blade, and then really nothing. There's a little bit of discoloration back around on the other side, I would say, and I would say that basically nothing's gotten into the metal. So this has got to be probably, I guess, about as hard as the blade. Oh wow, look at that. It's not even past the paint. It has not gotten into the paint. Wow. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm a goober. I'm a goober. There we go. Now it's gotten into the paint. But I'm going to be honest with you, that's it. I mean, it's gotten into the paint and no more. It's not into the, that's not in the metal. That's just paint. So it's worn the paint down. I noticed it did get a little smoother. And so I'm going to say that that's what it was, getting a little smoother. And so on the blade, that's not even completely through the paint. I mean, there's still residual paint left on that. And there. So I mean, that's not even through the paint. And I did not notice the crossbar lock getting weaker. You know, over 3,000, over 3,000 flicks. They are they're not weaker. Now we're going to zoom in on these bearings. I'm just with my plain eyes, I can't see anything, but that looks like either a plastic or some kind of hard, like the old circuit boards used to be, or something. It's like a hard. Okay, so I had to copy all the files off my camera because when you're lazy or a goober, you film several videos and leave them on your camera so that all of a sudden you look up and there's a big red button on the screen that says no more room. Kind of quietly sits there and calls you a daw. Here we go. And these springs are bent for the correct size. And so you'll take and you will pop this part into that little detent like I talked about, bring it around, and this is the front side of the liner, and bring this spring into place and pop it right into that joint right there, and that little hole, and you're good to go. So at this point we're going to put the correct liner over here into place. Now what you want to do at this point is take the center shaft, and we got it in there. So let's get our blade stop, which is very small, but as you saw in the video, there is no wear on it after over 3,000 snap opens. And yes, I will continue to specifically say 3,000 because it is well over 3,000. I only decided to start counting after I don't even know how many, because I'm a lazy goober. I didn't think about doing this torture test until later. And again, I understand 3,000 is not a lot, but I think it's respectable for a $10 knife. Okay, so now we're gonna push this back so it's more flusher. Oh, that almost hurt. And there. And then I don't know if I'm going to have to kind of do some calisthenics here. To get the liner back in on the other side. But hopefully not. Maybe that'll stick there. And maybe it won't. Ooh. Wow, sure did. So, let me go ahead and just put that down on there. Now I've got it started going in. Let's see if, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some calisthenics. Let's get this out the way. Rotate it down like this and see how it does. There we go. Perfect. Now everything is back in. Both bearings are back in. So we're going to go ahead and put this spring back on. Snap. Put it back in place. And I can't remember what this is called, Omega Spring, or I don't know. It's got a unusual name, or maybe it's a usual name. I don't know. Anyway, it's got a name. How about that? A little bit of blade wobble after over 3,000 openings is going to be a problem. Then I don't think this is going to be your bug out killer. The blade has been confirmed D2, hardened properly throughout, all the way through the middle. The only issue with blade edge retention has been with the sharpening being done improperly, and so grinding that sharp edge off and starting over fixed that problem for the guy that found that. All right, is this the bug out killer, or isn't it? I think it is. At $150 to $300 for a bug out, I don't think I'll ever own one, but I'll own this one. Is very important to me, and I thank you for spending it here with me. Thanks, and God bless.